Hey there. So here we are, and up till now, I think we have completed all the conceptual things required for electricity. At least I think so. And now it's time for us to dive into the technicalities of electricity. I mean the mathematics of electricity, because mathematics is the language of physics. And we already know up till now that resistance acts like friction for current, opposing the flow of current in a circuit. And yes, of course, resistance can be offered by any appliance in your home, like your iron, your heater, your geyser. Anything can act like a resistor in a circuit, and your house has a large circuit built in. So your house can be considered a large circuit in itself, and all the appliances that you connect in your house can be considered as resistors. So anything connected adjacent to each other in a circuit is said to be connected in series with each other. So resistors connected in series in a circuit would look something like this. Okay, let's take three resistors and place a switch over the starting of the resistors and turn the switch on, and as expected, current flows and resistors resist the current with some value. And let's now turn the switch to off, and the current does not flow. All the resistors are now empty with no current. And see what happens when I replace these resistors with bulbs. Any of the bulb does not glow, because in this case the switch is closed and the only connection with the switch is with these resistors. So these resistors are no way connected to the circuit, or the circuit is no way complete, so the bulb does not glow. This is one of the biggest demerits of series connections. If you turn off one switch, then all the other appliances will stop working. So now if I ask you that if your house has series connections, and your answer must be no, because your one circuit board contains many switches, and if all of the switches are connected in series with each other, then it will be impossible to control them voluntarily. Because if you close one switch, all the other appliances will stop working, because you have closed one switch and the circuit is incomplete. The whole circuit becomes incomplete. This is one of the biggest disadvantages of series connections, that if at any single point, if the circuit breaks, the whole circuit stops receiving current. So you may write these exact lines if you are asked to write the disadvantages of series connections. And if you are asked that where are series connections used, then you may write series connections are used in street lights and Diwali lightings. You might remember those Diwali lights which with one switch they all turn off, and with one switch they all turn on. And also this is the case with street lights. You just have to turn on one switch and all the lights turn on. You have to just turn the one switch off and all the other lights turn off. So resistors connected in parallel with each other would look like this, and by the name only you might have guessed the format of their connection. And a complete circuit with parallel resistance looks something like this. Okay, now let's connect a switch with this parallel circuit, and we will connect the switch particularly here, and you will notice that again you will see the whole circuit turns off, and again all the appliances do not receive current, or all the resistances do not receive current. But human brains are so much well designed for a curious mind that everywhere human tries to put its efforts. So let us turn our curious mode on, and let's see what happens when in place of here we place the switches, three switches individually with all those resistors. And when I turn one of those switch off, the other two appliances or the other two resistors still receive current, because the circuit is braked only for that particular resistance, not for these two resistances. So this is one of the biggest advantages of a parallel connection over series connection, that if the circuit breaks somewhere, the other appliances or the other resistors still receive current. So you may write these exact lines if the advantage of parallel connections are asked. And now if I ask you, are parallel connections used in our house? Are they applicable for our houses? And your answer must be yes, because you know parallel connections are very beneficial. You turn off one switch, all the other appliances are working. We will see how is exactly parallel combinations used in our house circuits later on in our next chapter called magnetic effects of current. But for now, for the sake of this video, let's continue our journey. So now we exactly know how are these series and parallel connections different from each other and what is their format of connections. But if you recall from my last video, I left one question unanswered. That was, why is the position of this voltmeter so special? So voltmeter is connected in parallel to the resistor. It has a very specific reason for that, because voltmeters are designed to measure the potential difference between 2 points, and if you connect that voltmeter in series with the resistor, then you only imagine of which points or between which 2 points will you be measuring the potential difference. Use your imagination. If you connect resistor and the voltmeter, then of which 2 points will you be measuring the potential difference? This is why voltmeter is specially connected in parallel with the resistor. Also do remember that ammeter is always placed in series with the resistor or the battery in a circuit. So you always have to place an ammeter in series with the circuit and a voltmeter in parallel to the connection. Okay, so let's make a complete circuit of a parallel connection, you know, with ammeter, voltmeter correctly placed in their order. And when I do that, you will notice that for all the resistors, I have placed only one voltmeter in between those resistors. This is because only one voltmeter is required. This is because resistors receive the same voltage or the same potential difference. So if the battery in this connection produces 220 volts of potential difference across the resistors, then all the individual resistors will acquire 220 volts of potential difference. This is why only a single voltmeter is attached in parallel to the connection, because you know it has to attain only one value which is common for all those three resistors. And mind it that the current going through these resistors is different based on the number of their resistance. So if this has high resistance, the current in it will be low, and this has a low resistance, then the current in it will be high. But you must also remember that the total current produced in the circuit is equal to the sum of current distributed in all these three resistors. So if the total current produced in this circuit is 4 amperes, then the distribution of current will be somehow equal to, you know, the total current. So you may assume that the first resistor will have 1.5 amps, then the second resistor 0.5 amps, and the third resistor 2 amps, giving a total of 4 amperes, and this is the total amount of current flowing in the circuit. Remember these two properties, which are very important to understand further complications. So let's again make a connection in series connections. So until now, by looking at this diagram, you may have guessed by looking at the voltmeters, because every resistor has its own voltmeter. So you may have guessed that every resistor has its own potential difference, and you are absolutely right. That means in a combination, in a series combination, the voltage or the potential difference changes and the current through each of the resistors stays the same. So if 2 amps of current is flowing in the circuit, then each of the resistor will get equally 2 amps. And if the total potential difference is 220 volts, then the sum of all the potential difference, you know, if we have 3 resistors, then the sum of these 3 potential differences will be always equal to 220 volts. So this might be 100 volts, then this might be 100 volts, and then here it might be 20 volts. So that sums up as 220 volts. You will have to particularly remember these four properties of parallel and series connections, because these are going to be very handy in our calculations. So only to summarize, we have in parallel connection, the voltage remains the same in all the circuits and the current through each of the resistance changes, while in series combinations the current remains the same in all the resistors while the potential difference in all the resistors changes. That only depends on the value of the resistance. Okay, now we will see how to create, or how to find out the sum of resistances, the net resistance in a circuit. So when you place 3 or more resistors in a circuit, they have a net resistance. Net actually means total, so the circuit must have a total resistance. It is important to find out the net resistance or the total resistance in a circuit to find out the total potential difference across the circuit and the total current drawn out by the resistors. So it is very important to find out the total of all the resistors. So first we will see how to calculate the series connections. Now we will derive the formula for calculating the total resistance in a series combination. So if N is the total number of resistors in the circuit, then we can write that total voltage or total potential difference is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3 Vn, which means the total number of potential drops we have seen in the circuit. So if the circuit has 3 resistors, then the potential differences will be 3. So you will have 3 voltmeters attached to each of the resistor. So you will have 3 voltages, 3 different voltages that will give the sum as the total potential difference in the circuit. Remember that property? Yes, that exact property is being used here. So V, which is total potential difference, is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3 Vn. Also we know that potential difference is equal to IR, which means current and resistance. So we have n number of resistances and the current in the circuit is constant, because this is a series combination and you must remember that property, that current is constant in series combinations. So we will write IR, replacing all the V's with IRs. So IR, which is the total resistance, is equal to IR1, which is the resistance of the first resistor, plus IR2 plus IR3 and and IRN, which is the nth number of resistor. Okay, what do you see common in this equation? Yes, all the i's are common in all the equations. So you will take out all the i's as common and cancel out the I on this side and the I on this side. So they both will cancel out and the total resistance will be equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3 and Rn. That means if you want to calculate the total resistance in a circuit in a series connection, you will simply have to add up all the resistors. You will get the final total resistance. So in parallel connections, we know that the voltage or the potential difference stays constant and the current changes in all the resistors, and also the sum of all those current distributed is equal to the total current in the circuit. So with that information we get total current is equal to current in the first resistance, which we represent by I1, plus current in the second resistor, which is I2 plus I3 plus and IN, which means nth number of resistor has nth number of current. So if you sum out all these currents, then you will get the total current. And you have to strategically think here that we are using the values which change in a circuit. In series connection we use voltage, which has changed in all the resistors. All resistors have different potential difference in all the resistors, so we used potential difference there. And here in parallel connection, current changes in all the resistors, so we have used current here. And we know from the Ohm's law that current is equal to V by R. by rearranging equations. We have done that a lot from class 7. So I is equal to VR, and we will replace all the I in the equation by V by R. So V by R, which is equal to the potential divided by the total resistance, is equal to V by R1, which is the number of first resistor, plus V by R2 plus V by R3, and so on until we get V by Rn, which is the nth number of resistor. Notice we did not write 1, 2, 3 in the V's or potential difference, because potential difference stays constant in a circuit. And here also you will find that V's are common in all the equations or in both sides. So we will take out V common and then cancel out both the V's. So we will get as a final equation which will look like this: 1 by R, which is total resistance, is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3, and so on up till you get 1 by Rn. So suppose you have 3 resistance in parallel in a circuit and you want to calculate the net resistance or the total resistance in the circuit. So what you will do is 1 by R is equal to 1 by R1, which is the value of the first resistance, plus 1 by R. So suppose, let's take examples, okay? Suppose the first resistance has a value of 2 ohms, the second also has 2 ohms, and the third has 4 ohms. So we will take 1 by R is equal to 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4. So when we take LCM and do further calculations, we will get 1 by R is equal to 5 by 4. And when you reciprocal these terms on both sides, you will get resistance is equal to 4 by 5. So as net resistance, you will get 0.8 ohms. So in this whole circuit, if you calculate the total resistance, it will be 0.8 ohms. So as promised earlier, I have come up with 2 examples that will help you to better understand the properties of connections in parallel and in series. So the first question gives you a circuit, and this is the circuit in parallel, and all the values of resistances are given to you, and the potential difference is also given to you. And you have to find out the overall current in the circuit and the current passing through each of the resistors. So you might remember that all the resistances have their own currents passing through them. So you have to individually find the current of each of the resistors and also the total current of the resistor. Okay, so detailed answer of this question will be displayed to you in the next video, so you may go and check that out if you want detailed answers. But if you want to voluntarily solve this one yourself, you are welcome to solve yourself, because if you solve this yourself and you get the answers right, you will be achieving a big goal here. So the next question is, this is where you are given the current and values of these resistors connected in series, and you have total potential difference and potential difference across the resistors. So you have to find out the potential difference in the whole circuit and also the potential difference across each of the resistor. So you must remember that each resistor has its own potential difference, so you will have to voluntarily find one of all the potential differences in all the resistors. So again, you can solve this one yourselves, or if you want detailed answers, you may head on to the next video and check that out. And with that being said, thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you liked it, sub if you loved it. This is Sahil Singh, you're watching Why, When and How To, and I'll catch you in the next one.